welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. This fourth episode we're going to be taking a look at War for Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe Class Warpath. Now, this is probably one of the figures I was least excited to get out of this wave, mostly because of his giant feet, but it's really grown on me. So let's go ahead, bring him in and take a look. Now, I have watched very limited G1. I'm not going to be gushing over any kind of animation accuracy. I'm just going to go by how interesting it looks. And he looks very ninja, assassin, samurai kind of face up here with the mask and the eye slit. And then he's got this shoulder pauldron, which kind of enhances the look. Lots of molded detail on his chest. Lots of molded detail throughout. Some of it is molded plastic, some of it is painted plastic. The color match, definitely noticeable, but it doesn't bother me that much. Painted treads, they fold up semi-neatly on his back. Painted white waist. He's got the hips where the universal is built into the look, so that way you don't have any skirt flaps that you need to move. He's got some boxy shins and some big old feet. And there's his feet from the side. You can see how big they really are. Got some foot backpacks. But overall, his backpack is actually pretty clean for a deluxe class figure. And he's got just loads of detail. Lots and lots and lots of detail. You got some butt vents and all kinds of details. As for posability, his head is on a ball joint, so it gets you up, gets you down a little bit, a little side to side rotation. Shoulders are on a universal, so you can get here. Let me do it with this arm. You can get out. You can go full 360 rotation, no butterfly. Swivel at the elbow, not the shoulder, and that'll get you a full 360. 90-degree bend at the elbow, and wrist swivel. So he has a swiveling wrist on a mushroom peg. So pretty nice for a deluxe. He's got a waist swivel, but it can be a little hampered by this flap back here. So if you lift that up, the waist swivel, it can go full 360. But when the flap is down, things do tend to bump into each other. Universal knees to get you back that far. If you move the butt flap, it'll get you back all the way. Forward, all the way. Out to the side, all the way. Thigh swivel. Knee bend, almost 90 degrees. Ankle rocker, out to the side. No real forward and backward movement. So, pretty good for a deluxe. I got that like backwards. Go ahead, put him off to the side, and we'll do some size comparisons. I've decided to change things up starting from now on. Transforming a bunch of stuff is real tedious, and maybe if I start spacing my reviews out later on, I'll start doing some comparisons with things I transform between takes of parts of the video. But for now, I'm just going to keep it simple and compare it to things standard, so that way you just know what it's going to be sized like compared to the things that I size it to. So first off, we have a standard Rubik's Cube. So he's taller than that. Rubik's are another hobby of mine, so we might end up throwing in different cube kinds, but they're all going to be the same size as that one. We have a Gore Magala statue from Monster Hunter 4. If any of you play Monster Hunter, I do play Rise on the Switch. While I don't have my own gaming channel, I might end up being on my friend's gaming channel. We have Volkswagen Beetle. This is MPM7 Bumblebee. I'm using him for the vehicle mode, and I'll be using Transcraft Bumblebee for the robot mode, because the vehicle's about the same size. And then, just because I picked him up, we'll go ahead and put in Kingdom Rhinox. He's a Voyager. So, big old rhino. Definitely looks like he could plow poor Warpath over. Alright, and that's it for the comparisons. So we'll go ahead and we will get him transformed up. To start transformation, a lot of people will actually take this shoulder pylon off, but I actually just rotate it forward because it can sit on his arm the whole transformation as long as it's rotated forward. We're going to come around to the side, bend his elbow, and pull out this back tread section. It just tabs in with that tab into that groove there. We're going to rotate it all the way out, and then on the back here there is a series of tabs on the back of his forearm that are going to line up with notches in the tread when you straighten out the elbow. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pop his tread out, line it up, there you go. And then I'm just going to rotate his arms forward for the time being, so that way they're out of my way. Next thing is going to be detaching his shoulders, and they just kind of slide on and clip around up here. There isn't really any kind of locking mechanism. There's a couple of little tabs right there that sort of slot into grooves on his chest, but it's nothing super secure as far as the locking mechanism. Now when it's locked on there, it stays really well for what little locking there is. But anyway, you fold that out, and then you're going to try and push from underneath, and then get your thumb on the flap and pull it up through. Then there's a little tab right here that you can use to fold this out, flatten it back down, and I got it on the outside. And then you just fit it so that way you make the back of the tank flush. Sorry about my sniffles. It's getting to where the temperatures are changing, so my sniffles are running high. Alright, so we're going to work on a leg here. Separate this flap and straighten it out, so that way this side of the tank is formed. Then we're going to rotate that at this hinge, all of this jumbled up parts right here, so all you're left with on this side is this one single flap, and then you have all of this mess over here. We're going to fold the foot down so that it lines up. We're going to fold this flap up, and this tab right here is going to go underneath the back of the foot, and then we're going to take this and sandwich it open, so that way this part is now inside the inside of the foot, and that's one leg done. So we'll go ahead and do it again on this side. Open up the back, rotate at the hinge to separate all of the stuff. We can flip this flap up first before we rotate the foot. It doesn't really matter either way. Get the foot secured in, and then just fold that down in, and we've got 2 feet done. Now we're going to rotate the arms forward, and almost simultaneously we're going to tuck them in here, and we're going to peg this slot on the forearm onto this peg on the side. So a lot's going to happen here. So we've got it lined up, peg the arm in, peg the treads in, same thing on the other side. line it up, peg the arm in, peg the treads in. Now we can snap his treads together. There are several tabs, including one made out of the faction symbol basically, and depending on how lucky you are, it'll either stay together on its own or it won't, and mine doesn't. I could put some glue or floor polish in there to thicken up the tabs, but I don't mind this little pauldron parts forming, so we can go ahead and remove it, and then you got a tab here, and 2 tabs on this that are going to meet up with these slots here and these slots down here. So wedge it together, snap it in. Now for his head, we're just going to open up this flap in the back. We're going to push his gun out. That'll allow us to rotate the head down to create the little cover for when people would be getting out. Snap this flap back shut, and there we have Warpath in his vehicle mode. I'm going to go ahead and get him nice and clean. We're going to put him down, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at his details and do size comparisons. Alrighty, now most of the details that are on the side here you can see in robot mode. All of this is visible on the side. This is his arm, and this is visible. This is tucked in, and this whole panel is tucked in. So you get nice completed treads. They're painted white to match the cartoon. This panel is white, painted red. Either that or it's painted white and then painted red. And the hole is just left unpainted. Unlike this one, it's nice and red and filled in. This hole is just glaringly there, but that's okay. The tab's also not painted for the blast effects. I don't believe I have any blast effects, but that's okay. They're fun. I just never got any of the Battle Masters. You've got lots of nice detail up here on the top of the tank. He's got his Autobot symbol in there, and it cleans up really nicely on top. You got little headlight looking doodads, and these bumps, they're not tabs for transformation, they're just all part of the detail. Not these circular ones though, just these bumps right here. Same detail on the other side. Like I said before, you've got the little hatch up here. You've got, I don't know anything about tanks, but just lots of little nice molded in things. A lot of this up here we could see in Robot, but this was all covered up by that shoulder assembly. So, and then the back panel on his head. The back of the tank looks real cool. I have no clue what this is. I just like how it all lines up together. Underside, you can see his hips. You can see his shins or thighs. Not his shins, his thighs. And with this parts forming piece, it cleans up the bottom front really well. And like I said, it doesn't bother me that much. As long as it's a weapon, I don't mind it. Unless it's such a stretch of a weapon that it doesn't look good where it goes, like Cliffjumper's backpack. This, I like the look of him having that pylon on his shoulder. Posability in tank mode, he's got rolling wheels, plastic wheels, so he can roll or slide. He has rotation at the turret, full 360 degrees, and his turret can move up and down a little bit. I know that when I have him in robot mode, if I feel like this is loose and it is a little bit wiggly, I'll actually bump that up and it gets rid of the wiggle on my copy. So, and then just for clarification, this is the back of the turret, and you can give that a push to help free it up when you're transforming him. And we'll go ahead and put him down, and we'll get to our size comparisons. So here we go. Here's his little tank mode next to the Rubik's Cube, and he really compresses a lot. It's actually quite impressive how much he compresses. I think I just said compressive. Oh well, he compresses. It's really nice. And then here we are with the little Gormagala statue. So now he is fighting the monster. We'll go ahead and give him some action. So if I had a blast effect, he could be shooting the Gormagala. Here we have our masterpiece Bumblebee movie Bumblebee stand-in Well, that actually is the masterpiece movie, Bumblebee, but he's not that much of a masterpiece. That's why he's in vehicle mode. And then we have the real show stealer masterpiece, Bumblebee. That thing is so great, but I'm dreading reviewing it. The transformation's not hard, but being new to this filming thing, I imagine it's going to be a nightmare. And then I didn't transform him or anything, but Kingdom Rhinox, and that's definitely a Rhino. I think we should probably keep away from civilization if it's that big compared to this tank. Well, I mean, Warpath is a mini-bot, so maybe not so much. Maybe this is a standard Rhino next to a tiny Warpath tank, because that's what he is. And that about wraps it up for my review of Kingdom Warpath. I did change to a slightly different area for filming, so that way I wasn't stuck in that little cubby after I got past the smaller figures. I just decided to do them in there just to see how to move my hands and things, and I decided that changing it up a little bit would benefit, because I'm eventually going to be doing much bigger figures, and I'm going to need more space than that tiny cubby is going to allow to be able to rotate everything to show you what I'm doing when I transform it, because I'm not doing the greatest job of that right now, and it would have been worse with the big ones, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to keep trying to improve. If you like what I do and you want to see how it improves, go ahead and subscribe, comment your opinions, your critiques. Just don't come at me with negativity. I can handle positive construction, positive criticism. The negative stuff I'll just ignore, or YouTube will get rid of for me. I'm not sure if I have that set up right. I know that some people were saying they weren't getting notified, so they're next to the subscribe button on my channel. There's a little bell. Ring it. Click on it. Once it's lit up, that means you will get notified. I don't actually use notifications on YouTube. I just check my subscription feed, and this stuff shows up in the order it's been posted, so as long as I'm keeping up with it, I know what's new and what's not. But we'll go ahead and finish up this review, and we'll see you next time. I'm losing track of the episodes already.